Welcome to Washington, D.C., where we are keynoting the video power meeting here at the Alamo Drafthouse. It's amazing, about 150 people in totality here. Got the big screen in the back there. It's gonna be an amazing event. So let's go check it out.
Levi Lascsak. Anybody checking him out on YouTube? Raise your hands. Yep. He's kind of pissing me off a little bit. I gotta tell you why. He got into the business in like late 2020. He just got his freaking real estate license. And then 2020 didn't do any business. 2021, the first quarter of 2021, I don't think did much business then. Didn't do hardly any business then. And then I think late 2021 and 2022, he called fire and is literally on fire. Closed $86 million in volume from his YouTube videos. Are you serious? And did this in like two and a half years? I am so pumped to welcome Levi Lascsak. Hold your applause for a second, but
these guys on YouTube, living in Dallas, Texas. Go check it out.
And if you don't know Levi, he is changing real estate.
Video is so important. It is the key to Levi's business.
Levi Lascsak from the great state of Texas. Let's go.
Levi kicks ass at YouTube.
This guy dominates YouTube.
We are here for another episode of the Real Advice Podcast here with our buddy Levi, otherwise known as YouTube Levi.
Meet Levi Lascsak and Travis Plumb. They started a channel called Living in Dallas. They have done, in about the last year and a half, $90 million in volume. Truly killing the game on YouTube. Levi from Living in Dallas, the real estate agent, started his YouTube channel using a smartphone.
And in Q1 of 2021, he sold 0 homes.
Then, because of YouTube, 97 million production, almost 3 million in GCI, and we did that with 0 ad spend to the channel.
I could not believe what they're doing to help people do passive prospecting. Like, it blew my mind. Levi, first of all, you did it all without an office.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, yeah, I heard all about you, Levi.
It was the best presentation I've seen given, and it was so good it made me want to get back into selling. I know how hard what it is that y'all did.
Leading to, yes, $1 million revenue business in its first year.
Today we've got Levi Lascsak with us. In his first year of real estate, he did 64 transactions, closed $33.5 million.
Levi is someone that is helping real estate agents crush it on YouTube.
So Levi, thanks for joining me today. I certainly appreciate it. So let's talk about you and YouTube. I mean, you've had quite the success in your real estate career due to YouTube.
Levi Lascsak, he's crushing it in the real estate. 90 million in 12 months.
If you have more than 1 year left in your real estate career, you should be on YouTube.
all right, put your hands together for Levi Lascsak.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you, man.
Amazing. Appreciate it.
Also a good song. I want to keep hearing the music for a minute. Just rock out a bit. Thank you, Ari. That's awesome. Guys, he flew in from Dallas, Texas to be here. So I think it's awesome that he's here. So let me just hear it for him one more time. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
The reason I said that I was a little bit angry at you, by the way, is because it only took me 20 years and my business partner 20 years to build the business we built, that you've built in 18 months. So I'm very frustrated at you, but we're going to solve that. We're going to get to the other side of that. I want to tell you guys a funny story about Levi. And all the panelists here were talking about just doing and just taking action. Levi doesn't know this story, but I'm going to share it with him. So I am a moderator for lab coat agents. Anybody familiar with lab coat agents? Yeah, you guys know what that is? So I'm a moderator for lab coat agents, and one of the things that lab coat agents does is they send out panelists, or webinars rather, and so I can pick my webinar, and Levi's name popped up, and $86 million in volume popped up, And YouTube popped up and entered the business in 2022. 2020, thank you, popped up. And I jumped on it. I was like, I got to meet Levi. So we did about a 45-minute interview. And at the end of the interview, I said, Levi, we're going to be best friends. And I don't know if you remember that or not, but that's exactly what we said. I said, we're going to be best friends. I said, listen, we're hosting an event in D.C., and I need you to come. What do you think? And he said, yes, right away. The funny thing about that was, at the time, I didn't have a theater. We weren't actually, didn't actually have a date, and we didn't have any panelists. So about 6 weeks ago, Levi jumped on board, and I'm so pumped that you are here today. And I can't wait to hear your playbook. We also have 10 free books of his, so if you want a book of his, let me know as well. And man, you guys want that? Oh yeah, don't forget, also hit me up. Levi earlier today also told me he would do 20-minute free coaching sessions. So DM that as well. And it's all yours, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay?
Mic closer.
Like this, it's got to be real close.
Does that sound better? Can you hear that? So yeah, I think it's that's really close. You almost have to eat this like ice cream, I would say. That's probably the close. You think being a keynote is really glamorous until you realize all the other speakers have slobbered all over the microphone before you. So now I've got to hold it uncomfortably close. So let's see if this works out. And I think this might be the biggest screen that we've ever seen here. So this is pretty cool. So yeah. All right. Well, I can't see anybody anyways, but I was going to ask, has anybody heard me speak before? No. Okay, good. Good. All right, so I always give a shout out to my partner, Travis Plumb. I was thank him. He's been very instrumental in the business as well. So a little bit of the backstory. And, you know, here's the deal. We were brand new agents, okay? Started in 2020, actually sold 0 homes in 2020, but released the first YouTube video on December 5th of 2020. And so that also means I sold 0 homes in the first quarter of 2021. But what happened after that, it took about 90 days to get the first deal under contract. Now, granted, this is all I focused on. I went 100% on YouTube, and it took about 90 days, got that first deal under contract, ended up closing the first 2 deals from YouTube in April of 2021. Well, it completely started to compound from that standpoint. So by the end of the year in the last 9 months, we ended up generating 690 leads from the channel. We closed 64 transactions, a little over 9.2% conversion, did $33.5 million in volume, and just over $1,007,000 in commissions in our first full year. So then the compound effect really started to set in. So Jason, you're a little incorrect. This was in the second year, not in total in the last 2 years, but it snowballed. So in 2022, we generated 1,958 leads. So that was 5.4 inbound leads per day we averaged, and closed 156 transactions from the channel. We ended up closing about 186 total for the year, but 156 came from the channel alone. So we did 86.1 million in volume, 2.3 million in commissions, and just from that YouTube channel. So, you know, the thing is that when I was getting to the business, I had to ask myself some questions, which is I wanted to understand, I wasn't an agent that got into the business and then tried to figure out a plan. I was thinking, if I can figure out a plan to be successful in real estate, then I'll get into real estate. Now, I'll share a little bit on that later, why I got into the business. But you got to look at the stats. They're not very good. You know, average agent starts with less than $5,000 to their name. And even according to NAR, if you go on their website, it says that the average agent with 2 years or less experience makes $8,800 a year. So it's no wonder people get out of the business very quickly, because nobody could live off of that. But also it can be rejection based, right? And I don't care what anybody says, nobody likes to get rejected throughout the day, especially if you're cold calling or door knocking. But if you're not effective at lead generation, it doesn't matter what business you're in, you will not be very successful, at all, right? So if you're not effective at lead generation, you got to get people in through the door. So I started my foundation with this. I'm a little old school, so I always start with books, and I wanted to look for information on marketing. And so, of course, instead of learning about YouTube on YouTube, I decided to go to books. But YouTube Secrets really kind of helped me understand the fundamentals and principles and the foundation of YouTube as a platform. So I would say that's a very good resource. And the cool thing now is that we're we're actually featured in that second edition. And the reason they featured us in the second edition, Sean, Cannell, and Benji Travis, is because they heard our story and because we were able to generate that $1 million in commissions with less than 5,000 subscribers. So they wanted to prove the point, because most YouTubers get all the recognition and all the notoriety whenever they hit 100,000 or 1 million subscribers, but sometimes that takes them years or even decades to do that. And we were able to generate $1 million in commissions with less than 5,000 subscribers. So they wanted to show how the power of YouTube, by taking people off platform, and we're lucky to be in a high ticket item like real estate, we can monetize that if we know how to convert that correctly. But I would say this is the second best resource right here, which that just came out in March. And that's what Jason was referring to as far as giving away a few copies of that. And we really walk you through a lot of the step-by-step and why things matter. But I'm going to give you kind of the rundown here. So when I started to look at where are the eyeballs, I wanted to understand where are people actually searching for information. So I started to look up random suburbs on Google, and what I found was like Plano, Texas, a suburb of Dallas, gets about 90,500 searches per month. But whenever I went onto YouTube, I saw that it got 834,000 searches per month. That's 10 times the search volume on YouTube than it is on Google. So that got me thinking about, what do people actually want to see when they're researching? They do want to see these neighborhoods. And so that's what really got me into discover what I call the passive prospecting principles. And so let's start. I want to kind of help you understand a little mind shift here as far as marketing goes. So you have to think about interruption versus intention-based marketing. Most of us have been exposed to, and you've probably conducted interruption marketing your entire life. Okay, so what is that? That is TV commercials, it's billboards, it's magazine ads, right? So it's cold calling, it's door knocking. Think about it. None of us truly like to get a phone call about our car warranty in the middle of dinner, right? So it's interrupting what we're doing. What do you do during TV commercials? Go to the restroom, check your phone, get something to eat. But you could see a dog food commercial 10 times a day. It doesn't mean you're going to run out and buy dog food. Now, if you pour out the last bowl of dog food, none of us want Fluffy to die, right? And so you say, okay, now I have to go buy dog food. I'm going to go to the store, go directly to the dog food aisle, buy it, or I'm going to order it on Amazon, right? So you see the difference there? When you have intention to buy something, you do not need any marketing or advertising to convince you that you need it. You just know you need it. So do you believe that people become intentional when they're ready to buy or sell real estate? And would you rather be in front of those people when they're intentional instead of interrupting people every day of their life, hoping that maybe you'll do a transaction with them 12, 24, 36 months down the road? It's a different ballgame. Now, they say 80% of the traffic online is mobile, but if you look at the back-end analytics of our channel, it tells a different story. 55% of our traffic comes from TV, computer, and tablet. Those are research devices. Think about it. 30% of our traffic comes from TV, which means people are sitting on their couch, maybe even laying in bed, watching our videos. You have to be very intentional if you're sitting on your couch or laying in bed watching Dallas, Texas real estate videos. Don't you think? Yes. Okay, one person agrees. I know who I'm focusing on the rest of this talk right now. But look at this. And the thing is that they also say attention spans are dead these days, right? That's why you're supposed to be a dancing real estate agent on TikTok. However, look at the view durations. Look at TV. Average view duration, 9 minutes and 39 seconds. Look at computer, 5 minutes and 52. Tablet, 6 minutes and 23 seconds. However, look at suggested video. This means YouTube knows its audience so well. YouTube's only going to suggest videos that they believe the audience is going to watch, because their whole goal is time on platform. They want people to stay on as long as possible. So when they suggest videos, look at the average view duration, 10 minutes and 48 seconds. So you think if YouTube is suggesting a Dallas, Texas real estate video to somebody, they have belief that they will watch it and they're interested in it. So YouTube does all of the targeting with you. And by the way, all of that we generated, over over 200 transactions closed, 0 ad spend. YouTube did all of the promotion for us through their own algorithm. And our average contact under contract was 51 days in 2022. That means the first time anybody ever reached out to us, we got them under contract in less than 2 months, because they're intentional. And that's out of all of those clients, out of hundreds. So think about global versus local too. Now, it's one thing to farm your local market, that's very important, but have you ever wanted to market outside of your neighborhoods, your city, your state, the United States. Have you even thought about that? Would you ever cold call another country? Would you ever send postcards to another state? Would you even consider marketing to those areas? Probably not. But with YouTube, you have a global audience. You see, also, it's working for you 24/7. Look at the view durations. When's the last time you cold called at 2 in the morning? And we're getting 69 views. That means 69 intentional people are watching Dallas, Texas real estate videos at 2 in the morning. 70 people at 3 in the morning, 72 people at 4 in the morning. But you know what? 2 in the morning for us could be 9 a.m. in the UK. It could be 5 p.m. in Japan. And we get these types of calls and emails every single day. We're a family of 6 with 2 cats. We're originally from Florida, but have been living abroad in Belgium for the last 6 years. We're getting relocated to Dallas. Would I ever market to Belgium? No. But because I have a YouTube channel, somebody in Belgium that is not just going to come in on a random weekend and look at homes has to start researching. And guess what? People are going to YouTube to research. It's the second largest search engine behind Google, and Google owns YouTube. And anytime you Google something now, what do? They pop up YouTube videos on there, don't they? Because they know people want to watch and they're trying to send you over to YouTube. This one too, we helped this client. I've been watching your channel for a year. It's been great. We will be migrating from the Philippines. We've helped people from Japan, from South Africa, from Australia, just within the last 2 years of being in the business. Never had a marketing plan for the world, but it happens all the time. And if you live in an area like DC where there's military, guess what? People are military getting transferred in here every single day from all over the world. And guess what the military tells them to do? You have to move. And guess where you're going? You're going to DC and you've never been there before. And guess what they have to do? All the military's in their 20s and 30s. Where do you think they're researching? They're researching on YouTube. They're stuck in Japan and Germany and South Korea. You think they're just coming into town on a random weekend to look at real estate? No, they're going to start researching on YouTube. And so that happens all the time. But the question came up earlier, how much time does this take? YouTube does not take you time. Actually, video does not take you time. It makes you time. Look at this one video. It took 30 minutes to make, but it's been watched, actually way more than this, but 11,600 hours. Now, if you were to invest your money into something, what's your number one question? It's probably going to be, what's the return of my investment? When am I going to get that back? Well, look, YouTube tells me directly, I invested 30 minutes. And if I offered you, if I said, hey, would you give me 30 minutes and I'll give you 11,600 hours back with your family, your friends, to vacation, to take some time off, would you take that? That's what video can do for you. So that's like making a profit of my time. That's the way I look at it. I've profited 11,595 hours from my 30-minute investment. Is that worth it? I think so. But I would say it gets even better than that. YouTube doesn't just take time, YouTube compounds your time. Who loves the idea of compound interest? I think oh yeah, okay, one person, great. So, all right, so we love the idea of compound interest, but they say time is the most valuable asset. So if we're investing our time in something, why are we not asking what's going to be the return of my time? What's the return of my investment? And this, look at this. Our channel was watched 1,514 hours in one day. That's equivalent to 63 days of prospecting. That's a compound effect. So in 1 month, our channel was watched 11,800 hours. That's equivalent to 1.34 years worth of prospecting. But in 2022, our channel was watched 104,600 hours. You divide that by 24 hours in a day, that's equivalent to almost 12 years of prospecting. Now, do you understand why we're doing the business we're doing? It's because my business is not dependent upon me prospecting 2 hours every single day, 5 days a week, and whenever I take a vacation or go on a conference, I lose all of that time. The channel is prospecting for me right now while I'm here. That's why I don't even think about it. When Jason says, hey, you want to come speak? Yep, I can do it. I know I've got time. You want to know how much time this takes? Video is the true 4-hour work week. Everybody loves that book. But what does it really mean? That means I can invest, actually I spend less than 2 hours a week, probably even less than that, on video. But it gives me the biggest return in my business. So I'm all about video. So when you're compounding time, I'm turning 1 day into 2.1 months, 1 month into 1.34 years, and 1 year into 1.2 decades. That's passive prospecting with the compound effect. And what I come to find out is, look, I've been in sales for 20 plus years. Love sales, hated prospecting. That's, you know, but I was always the best prospector, which always made me the best salesperson. And I just had to outwork everybody else. But it is hard, right? It's why all sales training exists. It's why everybody is here right now, because you're trying to learn some new skill or something that you can implement in your business so you can get a little bit better and more efficient. But that comes with a ton of rejection. Again, that's why a lot of people get out of the business, because they just can't handle that. But for me, I always felt like I spent 90% of my time prospecting and only 10% of my time actually doing what I loved, which was talking to people directly about my product or service, right? And that's what we got caught up on, because I did that in every single business. And when I was moving into real estate, that's what I told myself I was going to refuse to do. I knew I could do it, and I would do it if I had to, but I wanted to think differently. I was like, I'm not going to get in the same cycle of going out there and letting my prospecting being dependent on me. So how do I solve that problem? So that was the question. But passive prospecting, it's really easy, right? There's zero rejection. Till this day, not a single person has ever called me and said, Levi, I hate your videos. I'm not going to do business with you. It hasn't happened. So I don't know the people that don't want to work with us, because I never talk to them. It doesn't happen. The clients walk themselves through the entire sales process, okay? They go searching on their own. They find your videos on their own. They click on your videos on their own. Then they watch your videos, and then YouTube starts serving more of your videos to them as soon as they watch one video. And you know this because you've all made the mistake of watching one silly cat video and then it's on your feed for the next 30 days, right? So all YouTube does is feed you cat videos and you're like, yeah, I should have never. So you got to be careful what you watch because you know what's going to fill your feed. But the video builds the relationship for us. Everybody says, oh, I'm in the relationship business. Well, guess what? The video does that for us. So whenever the clients call us, they've already made the decision that they want to work with us. We don't have to convince them that we're the best agent or why we're different. They know. And we know this. These are the text and emails we get every single day. Now, what you're going to notice is the amount of volume. This is cold emails to us. I've never met these people, but look how comfortable they are. Do you think there is a relationship there with the amount of information that they email us with? When's the last time somebody sent you that much information based off of your postcards? Nothing wrong with postcards. I know they work. But who's ever said, hey, here's my life story in an email because your postcard was so impactful? It doesn't happen, but the video builds that for you. They tell us everything we need to know, but look at the key phrases. We would like to check with you if you'd be able to help us find a home. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your time. I look forward to hearing from you. If you have some time to talk about this, feel free to give me a call. They're asking me, do I have time to work with them? How would that change your business? Would that change your business? But it gets even better. Every time I answer the phone, this is what it sounds like.
Is this the Living in Dallas, Texas YouTube channel?
That's me.
Are you guys the folks on the YouTube channel, right?
Yes, that's us.
Okay. I know exactly who I'm talking to then.
So this is regarding the Living in Dallas, Texas channel, right?
Wait, are you Levi from the video, from the YouTube video?
Yeah, that's me.
It's good talking to you.
I saw some of your videos and that's how I found you, so I'm actually very helpful.
My wife and I have seen your guys' videos on YouTube and kind of caught our interest.
I'm posting on YouTube, very interesting where you share the information. I don't know if we should ask for an autograph or something. We've been following you on YouTube like you're a superstar.
I thought I'd reach out to you guys because I've been watching your YouTube videos.
Hey, it's good to talk to you guys. Been looking at your videos on YouTube. I feel like I'm talking to the movie star.
Just saw your YouTube video. I'm sure you get a lot of calls like this.
Like some of your videos are literally like the first videos I see, so I'm just like, let me call this guy. Let me text this gentleman.
Thank you. You have a nice video.
We were really impressed, and that's why we wanted to get in touch with you.
I saw your videos, and it actually helped me.
We liked your videos and your knowledge and your energy level. And
all the information that you gave us on the YouTube channel about both of those spots, it looks good.
You watched pretty much all your videos.
I found you through YouTube, actually. I've been watching a lot of your videos lately. Let me commend you, man. Good job on that.
Great videos on YouTube. Yeah, no, I've been looking at your stuff and it's been helpful.
Your YouTube channel helps out a lot. I like watching videos, kind of get a lay of the land, But
You make great videos, by the way. I enjoy watching them.
We learned a great deal just watching your YouTube videos.
which were amazing, by the way.
I found your information super helpful.
I like what you say in your videos. There's also hotspots for investments.
A no-brainer, but you guys are also well-informed, but I really like your stuff.
There's videos and content there. Really good stuff, really good size powers, and really informative.
We watch your videos religiously.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
So would that change your business if every time you picked up the phone, the relationship was already established? Actually, they were surprised I was the one answering the phone. They were actually expecting a team member. They were thinking that, wait, he's not going to answer the phone. But it gets even better because whenever we jump on, you saw the emails, those are the phone calls. This is what happens when we jump on Zoom.
Through YouTube. It's kind of funny because it feels like I'm watching a YouTube video right now.
I knew he was going to be cool. You know what? After watching your clip, my head exploded. I was like, wow.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday.
I appreciate the text messages because those have been super helpful.
Hey, good seeing you again, Levi.
Do you enjoy the videos?
Oh yeah, I do. I really enjoyed your video.
We saw your YouTube channel and say, hey look, he looks knowledgeable, he knows the land.
Funny to talk to the person behind the YouTube video.
From one creator to another, I really like your channel.
I saw your videos on YouTube. They're impressive.
It's like seeing a celebrity. I've watched you so much on
Really good videos. I've enjoyed your videos over the weekend.
We've been watching you, Levi, on YouTube a lot, actually.
I've watched your YouTubes.
Did you find them helpful?
I actually did, yes.
We're definitely ready. And we've been kind of stalking you a little bit.
I was watching some videos and I must say, really amazing videos.
I've been watching a lot of the videos.
It's actually nice to see you from those.
We've been watching your videos every day.
We saw some of your content and kept on saying, like, reach out, so we're reaching out.
So maybe you get some advice.
I really appreciate your video when you spoke to when you just described the different areas of Dallas.
And we were like, oh, these areas seem to fit our vibe.
It's been a year, so now I'm just kind of looking to head towards the DFW area.
Just from the research we've done, some of your videos were helpful too.
And I have never been to Texas in my life. However, I know that I'm going to love it there because it just keeps on coming up. And funny seeing Levi on screen now talking to you instead of talking at you.
I found a couple places that I don't want to go to and a couple places I want to.
Okay, good.
Definitely might need to get back home.
I've left a couple of times myself, but I'm like a boomerang, always come back. So
Yeah. It's actually really hard to get out there as well.
Not with us.
Well, yeah, let's see that.
Just the timing, I guess, was kind of good. They say things kind of happen for a reason.
So I've done some research. I did watch your videos. I'm actually coming to check out the areas and figure out which one we would like best.
Pretty cool to see you now.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's great to see you.
Cool. Well, thanks, Levi, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
Thanks, Al. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I know it took a lot of your time, but that's really helpful. Thank you today, and then we can keep talking.
Thank you both. Thank
We'll
you.
definitely stay in touch and make sure we get y'all taken care of, okay?
Okay, thanks so much for your time, guys.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate your time.
Nice to meet you guys.
And let's get this done.
So what would that be like? Would that change your business every time you jumped on Zoom and they were shocked that it was you? I mean, the relationship is already there. And so this is what really led me to build out what I call the passive prospecting process here. Now, here's some things. So everything I did, I researched before I got into real estate. Remember, I knew I wanted to do things differently. I didn't want to get caught up in everyday prospecting. And so I thought, okay, how do I do things differently? So I researched this. And whenever I finally chose YouTube, because actually I was looking at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok first, because that's what everybody was telling me to do in 2020. And it didn't really sit well with me. It didn't fit my personality. But whenever I learned YouTube is a search engine, not a social media platform, that actually felt a lot better to me. And so I started to look up keywords and research, and I designed this specifically for very reasons. First of all, I knew Levi Lascsak was not searchable. Nobody knew who I was. I had zero branding, so nobody would ever find that channel. So I looked for the top search term, which happened to be living in Dallas, Texas. And that may not be the search term for your area. It could be moving to, it could be relocating to, it could be DC living. It doesn't matter. You got to find the right search term. But I figured if my channel was named after a search term, that would give it more likelihood to be found sooner rather than later, because guess what? There's hundreds of thousands of people searching Dallas, Texas every single month. They're not searching Levi Lascsak. I promise you that. And so look at this. In the middle, the thing is that most agents in the middle of their banner, they'll use all of this space to say, put their name, their brokerage, their phone number, their email, buy, sell, invest, call me for all your home needs. I mean, to me, it's a little bit of a premature sales pitch, right? We haven't earned the right. Remember, people on YouTube are researching, okay? They're researching, so we want to speak directly to them. We want a value-driven statement. So something like learn about living in Dallas, Texas, that is what they're researching. So that tells them immediately they're in the right spot. Plus, it takes me out of the equation as an agent just trying to sell them something. And now they can continue their learning process, all right? Now, on the left-hand side, we paint a visual. I created that graphic specifically because I started to get a lot of calls from California, New York, Illinois. And so guess what? I wanted a visual component to create some additional rapport from the get-go, like a little yellow taxi coming from New York, a little green station wagon coming from the West Coast, all the hippies moving over there. Then you got all the business people moving from Illinois. Just a little something fun, but that helps connect the dots there. On the right-hand side, I'm a combat veteran. Travis is a combat veteran. So, we're proud of that. And that does connect with people. So if you are former military or you're part of an association that most people will like, then maybe you put something there to also build a little rapport. But the biggest thing right here is this is where a lot of agents really make a mistake, in my opinion. They'll link every single social media here. They'll put their Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, because you can have 5 links right there. But you have to think about this. You worked hard to get them to your channel in the first place. Why distract them to a short form platform where they're probably going to end up watching cat videos anyways? So the only reason that link goes straight to book a call with us, that's the only reason we want them to leave our channel, if they want to leave our channel. Otherwise, we want them watching as many videos as possible. And that's our #1 clicked link throughout our entire channel. So that's very important real estate. Content creation strategies. Now, there's really a lot of videos that work, and you can just look at our channel and you'll see them. However, the thing is that these are the 4 main videos that really can work in any market. Vlog tours, this is something easy. You saw that on the phone call video I was showing you. That was me out in the neighborhoods walking around. You see, when I just hold a little selfie stick with my cell phone on it, I still use an iPhone 11 Pro to this day whenever I'm out and about. It's very simple. It's like that person is walking right next to me, shoulder to shoulder, and I'm just walking them through the neighborhood and showing them around. But the thing is anybody can go on an iBuyer platform and look at the inside and outside of a house. And anybody can go on Google Streets and play around, but you know how that thing is. It's a little wonky and it speeds you up, and then you end up in somebody's trash can and you're trying to work around that thing. So I can take them out in the neighborhood, show them the homes across the street, show them the homes next door, show them the community center, show them the Chipotle and Chick-fil-A is not too far. So that's very important factors, right? So you got to think about those types of things, actually taking them out. Map tours. This was just a little experiment, blew me away. Getting on a screen share like Zoom and walking people through a map, a tour, like literally, think about that. Anybody can go online and look at a map of DC, but they can't get your perspective. They can't get your stories, your input. I mean, is it really? Google says it's 20 minutes to get to there, but is it really? Is there a secret pathway or some highway you want to take, or never take this highway? Google always tells you to go this way, but that's not the way. So just even walking people through the neighborhood and even saying, look, here's some of my favorite spots. These are places I like to go, things to do. You're really close by. This is walking distance. Just walking people through a map. When they're researching, they're about to make the biggest decision or one of the biggest decisions of their life. And so that's very important. Pros and cons may sound cheesy, but people want to know the good and the bad of living in an area. And then you have top 5 neighborhoods, top 6 suburbs. I mean, any type of little list video, that's very simple to get people engaged in your videos. But this is what I really started to dig into was search engine optimization, SEO, and optimizing YouTube videos. There's another mistake people make, and not just agents, but creators in general when they get on YouTube, is they just publish videos. Now, of course, an occasional video can go viral, but if you don't optimize the back end of it, this is what I took a lot of time to really study and understand, is because if YouTube gives you a blank whenever you're uploading a video, it means they want some information from you. That's what speaks to the algorithm. That's what tells it what to do. Is so if you leave anything blank on there, then that's going to leave a gap in really telling YouTube what your video is about. So when somebody's searching for it, it's going to have a harder time connecting it. But we do tests and things like this all the time. So we don't just guess on this stuff. We let the audience tell us what is going to work. So we can use a software that flip-flops thumbnails every other day so that we know which one works. Okay, so it's not just our guess. Most people will create one thumbnail and leave it up there forever. But the problem is that, you know, that second version, whenever the market shifted, I put that little tape over my mouth. I actually thought that one would do better. You know, I thought it was a little bit more catchy, but however, the original version got more clicks, so my own assumption was wrong. But it got 20% more clicks than the original. Now, that may not seem like much, but that adds up and compounds over time. But look at the second one. Everybody calls us and asks about Frisco, Texas. Nobody calls us about Fairview. But Fairview's next door to Frisco. Nicer homes, bigger lots, newer community, better school district, but nobody knows about it. And sure enough, the thumbnail even proved that, because whenever I put this is Fairview, Texas, it got 1.1% clicks as to where I put the new Frisco, and that got 5.3. That's a 387% difference in more clicks. So that's what got YouTube to promote that video more. Look at this last one. 648% more clicks on the variation versus the original. The original got less than 1%. YouTube likes a click-through rate of anywhere from 2 to 10%. So if I would have just went with my original version, it would have got less than 1%. That would have told YouTube nobody's clicking on it, and therefore they're not going to promote that video. They're not going to push it out there. But because I changed the thumbnail and it got 5.8% clicks, that fell right in line with what YouTube is looking for, so therefore they're going to promote that video. So that's a big difference. Then lead conversion. If you have to do anything twice in your business, you better have a system, a process, a campaign, a trigger, some sort of automation. I've never sent a second email to my lender. I wrote an email once because every time somebody asked to be referred to our lender, I wrote that email one time, put it in a template, put it in a trigger. So all we do, we have a drag and drop system. We drag them to send to lender. It automatically fires off the email to every single person that needs to get that email. Same thing with pre-approvals, coming into town, under contract, closings, whatever it is. We have all of that built out so that we're not doing that every single time. It's all part of the automation. Now, it looks real and it looks live and it looks like a brand new email to the client, but they don't know that. So we don't do anything twice, or if we have to do something twice, we don't do it more than that. We just build up a system. So the thing is that I started to wonder, okay, could I actually help other agents do this as well? Is this actually, duplicatable? So Kyler here, he was completely skeptical, and he thought, okay, let me give this a try too. And sure enough, he gave us an update. 10 months in, did $12.5 million, closed 21 homes. Would that change your business? Yes or no? Okay, a couple of you. Would that change your business? Say aye. Okay. All right. So yeah. All right. Some of you just woke up back there. They're like these chairs are comfy. So he wasn't doing this before, but he thought I'd give it a try. So whether it's your first 13 million or if it's an extra 13 million to your business, would that matter? That's what you have to ask yourself. Would this work in other countries? We got Rochelle up in Toronto. One conversation with her, I met her at a conference, and she was listening to me talk to somebody else. And I didn't even know, she just told me the story the first time the other day, and she's like, yep, I just heard every word you said, and I went back home and got to work. Changed her whole business. She was cold calling and door knocking for 8 years in the business and just tired of it, really. And so, she got started and had success. She's done over 200,000, I know, in 6 months from YouTube. Chris, small market, Northwest Georgia. And he was a nurse, got burnt out in 2020 on being a nurse, but no sales experience, no real estate experience. And he, saw what we were doing, so he was like, you know what, I can do that possibly. But Northwest Georgia, not the hustling and bustling economy of the real estate either. Nobody's doing it in his area, so he had that advantage. But he's closing business now as well. He did over $5 million in closed pending and in the pipeline within his first year with zero experience on there. And talked about he's getting a $1.45 million buyer from YouTube. Jonathan, so he's in California. Everybody says everyone's leaving California, right? No, this isn't going to work in my market. And he started his channel whenever the market shifted and was crashing. So, last year, but he still was able to do 14 deals within 12 months, 171,000 in GCI. So it's just, and not even, I mean, he's about to break 1,000 subscribers. So going back to earlier, again, that question, views, subscribers don't matter. My only concern is, can I make the phone ring, period. That's the goal. I'm not concerned about the views or the subscribers. So, this just started happening over and over and over and over again. I just got the time warning of death, so we're going to speed this up a little bit. But people are posting all the time that this works. It's happening over and over and over again, and we've been helping people do that. So if I can, do I have a couple of minutes to just share a quick story?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I don't know if you've ever charted out your life on a graph before. I just did it for this presentation, so you probably haven't done that, right? But what's interesting is whenever you actually do that, it's funny because you realize, okay, my life is full of ups and downs. And so here's the deal. I've got a friend, Michael Reese. A couple of you may know him. He's been trying to get me into real estate for 20 years. We actually sold gym memberships together back at Bally Total Fitness. I got out of the military. It was like my first job and I met Michael Reese and we started selling memberships. So he got licensed in 2002 and I didn't go with him. I was still in the reserves as well, and I got activated. Actually, I was going to get into real estate with him. I technically did get licensed in 2004. It took him 2 years to talk me into it, but literally 1 week after I got licensed, I got a call and they said, we're sending you off to Iraq. You leave in 4 days. And if you can remember 2004, 2005, that's what it was like. Almost every single person in the military got deployed. And I was gone for 18 months. And the thing is that, you talk about extreme situations. I'm sure many of you have heard stories or have family members, friends that have gone through this. It's not easy. Like that top right picture, that's not doctored or edited in any way. That was a 3-day sandstorm that we lived through, which was terrible. It's probably like New York right now, I guess. But that's what it was like. That's what it actually looked like. And then you're going in there, flying in that top left picture. We flew in on a C-130. That's a cargo plane. That's basically a giant tin metal can that's used to ship equipment and vehicles, not really soldiers. That's why we're all lined up against the side of the wall. No windows. You fly into Baghdad in a corkscrew pattern like this. So you think landings are rough right now when you fly? Try flying in a corkscrew pattern in the middle of night so you don't get shot out of the sky. That's your first introduction to flying into a combat zone. So you live in this constant state of anxiety the entire time. And, we lost a couple of our team members there. And what I'm trying to emphasize is that in Iraq, you don't get days off. You don't get time to feel sorry for yourself. You don't get time to mourn. You have to complete the mission. You don't just get to lay in bed one day and say, I don't really feel like going to work. You worked every single day, 12, 15 hours if you were lucky. And we had to go out regardless, and you had to go back into the conditions that sometimes you just came out of that were not favorable. And that's a constant mental anxiety that you got to deal with every single day. But I made it through that. But the problem was I came home from Iraq with the digestive disease. And that messed with me for about 8 years until 2013. And then I lost 50 pounds in a single month. And this nearly killed me. So second time, I was in several firefights in Iraq, made it out of that. Then I get home and become bedridden and disabled at 33 years old. This was the worst 3 months of my life. I would have rather been back in Iraq than to go through what I went through in 3 months. Went to 4 different GI doctors. They all told me the exact same thing, put me on medication, steroids, IV antibiotics, could not get me better. They were going to cut out my organs to cure me. That was their words. Well, just remove things, right? That's how we'll cure you. And it was really by God's grace I found a natural doctor, and that natural doctor is like, well, we'll just change your diet and put you on some vitamins. I was like, wait, what? And in 3 weeks, I started to get better. Now, it ended up taking me a full year to recover, but I was able to do that 100% natural without any medication or surgery. And it's been 10 years. I'm 43 now. I'm kind of like Benjamin Button. I'm aging in reverse, So, yes, thank you. But I realized at that point, and I'll wrap it up for you. If we good? All right. I realized at that point, now I was very strict for the next 5 years on diet, lifestyle, because I was really scared about re-triggering an autoimmune disease that I was diagnosed with. And so I realized at 37 years old, I'd never been anywhere in my life, and I started to travel the world. I went to 24 countries. I started a financial services business as well. So I was working with all the teachers on retirement planning. And so I had a teacher's schedule, but 5 times a teacher's income. So I worked like 8 months of the year, and I was like, oh, I'm traveling the rest of the time. Went to 24 countries, had the time of my life. And then guess what happens in April of 2020? The world shuts down. I'm working with schools and I'm traveling. So the only 2 things I really know completely shut down. So that's where I had to make the decision. What I realized was that I was 41 years old at this time going, okay, now what? Will schools ever open again? I have no idea. Will the world ever open again? No, I can't get a job because they just had 30 million layoffs. So what am I going to do? How do I start over without starting over? That was the burning question in my mind. How do I start over without starting over? And the other thing is during the summer, I actually spent a lot of money because Michael Reese, my good friend who I've known for 20 years, was coming back to me saying, hey, just get into real estate. And I was like, I don't really want to be a real estate agent. Sorry, respectfully. I was like, I appreciate what you do, but I don't want to do that because you know why? I picture the person in Starbucks like, oh, hi, getting a coffee today? Oh, by the way, I'm a real estate agent. Here's my card. And so I just thought, I don't want to be a real estate agent. So I was wiring out during the summer of 2020. I wired out all this money, I started investing in Amazon stores. I started buying courses. Basically, what I did was I spent over $200,000. I went all in. I pushed all my chips in the middle of the table to bet on myself because I was going to figure out what was my next move in life. And the thing is that none of that stuff worked out. None of it. The Amazon stores crashed and burned. I lost all of that money. I spent money on investment courses. And you know what happened when I went through the fix and flip and the wholesaling courses? Because I thought if I'm going to get into real estate, I'm going to be an investor. I don't want to be an agent. You know what I learned in those courses? You got to cold call. You got to door knock. You got to have a postcard campaign. You got to. I was like, well, this kind of sounds kind of like being an agent, and I've already got friends that are agents. Why not just be an agent? So that's when I started to think, well, how am I going to become an agent? Can I develop a plan and become an agent and actually attract business? So that's what I was looking at. So I'm going to wrap this up and just say that the funny thing here's the irony of all of this, is what you're looking at, that's Texas Workforce Commission. So remember, I didn't sell a home in Q1 of 2021. Well, I had spent all my cash, $200,000. I've been saving that up over the last couple of years. And it was all gone. And I started that YouTube channel, and that's all I focused on, 100%. But by the time 2021, the beginning, rolled around, I was out of money. And this was the first time the government ever approved unemployment for 1099 people, if you remember that. And so I thought, you know what? I just need a little help. I didn't want to ask family and friends, for money. And so I thought I could I'll go quietly to the government. First time in my life ever. One of the most humbling experiences, but it was just enough. And it didn't even pay that much. You see, it's only $7,600. The reason it's that much is because it paid like $1,500 a month or something for the first 3 months. And that was enough just to pay a couple of bills and help me out. But as soon as I got that first deal under contract, I immediately canceled it. And I said, I'm not going to live that life. I'm going to make this successful. And well, it happened. It worked out. Not too bad. Yep. Thank you. My one person here. So, it's hard making videos. To me, it's a lot harder making calls. And I'll close out on this. I know the value of a video. You don't have to convince me to make videos. I made 160 videos in 2021, earned $1 million. That's like getting paid $6,300 a video. But in 2022, I made 2.3 off of 154 videos, so that's like making $15,000 a video. If I offered you $15,000, would you make a video? Yeah, you bet you would.
If you would not, you won't sit in fear of violence.
And let me close out with this. That says April 1st, 2021. I write my goals out every day, and I started to write this goal. I earned $1.2 million in GCI from living in Dallas. Didn't even have had 2 deals under contract at that time, but I started to write that goal every single day. Had no clue, really did not know if that I would even come close. I was hoping to maybe really make 200,000 that year. I thought that was going to be cool. I didn't hit 1.2, we hit 1,007,000, so close, but when you focus on something, you give it everything you've got. You don't get distracted. I didn't try TikTok. I didn't try Instagram. Nothing wrong with those platforms. I know a lot of people successful on those platforms. I just chose my one and decided I'm going to go all in on that one platform. I'm going to become a master of that platform. Then I can break off to the others. But I need to be successful in one first. And for me, that was YouTube. And so thank you for having me today. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more, then feel free to scan that QR code, and happy to help you out. And so, thank you.
Man. First off, can I just give you a hug, man? Thank you for your service. How about that? Let's start right there.
You're good, brother.